Hey
Bam, there we
y'all.
is. I set the hello everybody. I set the lights to blue and for autism awareness. I didn't know that was a blue
Oh
color.
yeah, that
Yes,
is
yes,
blue. Yeah, autism awareness is blue, and April is that month.
yes, yes, yes.
It's very important.
We have friends that do have live with do have people in the family that have autism. So actually, we do have a gentleman that works. Will come or a contractor that comes in. He does have autism. Comes in, does a job for us and stuff like that. So just give it up for autism awareness and all the families that work hard and to help with those who have autism and have the patience and meet them where they are.
Yeah,
All right, so let's get started. So, welcome everybody. For those who don't know us in real life,
in real life.
my name is Lamar, and this is my lovely wife Sarah. Hey, my beard looking a little dry. My beard is rough, y'all, because I'm growing it out. So y'all gonna see me scruffy for about another 2 weeks.
Your beard look just fine. Now come on.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so I'm Lamar. This is Sarah. By day, I'm a finance manager, husband, friend, all that kind of fun stuff. And she's a nurse, and she just completed her tour of duty. Yeah, tour of duty out there working with the public during COVID, seeing how crazy, insane, unreasonable people can be.
or have gotten.
Oh my goodness, man, horror stories. I was glad when that contract was up. I was like, she was telling all the stories. I was like, whoo.
I
I
know.
just want to pull you out there. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But thank you for what you've done. And thank all the first responders and people in the medical field that got us through the
And
pandemic.
Gerald and Mary, congratulations to Mary. Woo! I'm so excited for you, friends. So
Tell everybody what the celebration is.
congratulations. The celebration is my friend Mary McHenry, who is
You be
Gerald's
saying full
wife.
names and stuff.
Well, the full name is there. She passed her RN NCLEX, so she is officially a registered nurse, and I know all the hard work and dedication she put into that. So I know she feel like tons of weight has been lifted off of her. So I am very, very, very excited for her, and congratulations again.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's give it up for Mary, everybody. It's some real claps. Some digital claps
Yeah.
don't get it all the way. But all right. So before we get started with each show, we like to go over our three core principles. Why don't you go ahead and tell the public what our core principles are, young lady?
Oh, I'm telling this week. Okay,
Yeah.
so our three core principles. Our first core principle is we believe in a traditional marriage. We don't knock those who, do anything different other than a traditional marriage. We believe that the man is the head of the household, and that's how we proceed.
I'm the man. I'm the
You
man.
are the
I'm the
man.
man.
We believe in the 80-20 rule. 80, if you're getting 80% of what you want, we think you're doing damn good.
Yeah,
And
that
I mean,
includes
that includes everything.
yeah, your work. If you get 80% out of things out of that job you're doing great. 80% out of your marriage, things that you want or aspire
Fitness,
for,
whatever.
fitness,
I
you're doing
mean, you get
fantastic.
majority of the whole. So hey, we can't ask for much
Get that 80, that
more.
20 you don't get, you just got to charge it to the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And also our last core principle is we believe in date night. As he always say, I introduced that about 8 years ago. And Thursday nights, for some reason, were our chosen date nights. We would do a ton of things, but we do not let anything come in the way of our date night. That is our time. That is our time to reconnect, and we hold that very near and dear to our heart.
When you say the core principles, it always sound a lot sweeter. When I say them, I don't know, it doesn't sound as cute and sweet. But all right, so let's go ahead and get to it tonight, folks. Tonight,
All right. So the topic tonight is double standards and equality.
yes,
Yeah.
these kind of things can get you in a little trouble if you say the wrong thing. So we're gonna be very, very careful now. We're gonna walk a fine line. We may get a real what's that word? Politically, we're gonna keep it fully politically correct because I don't want people calling my job and stuff trying to get me fired.
But I know you guys have probably seen it in the social media right now. Everything is so sensitive and everything is about gender equality. It's been a big thing. So we decided just to do a topic that's trending. And so tonight we're going to cover some things that we're going to cover is, do we really want equality between men and women?
That's a big question. Do we really want equality? What's the next one?
And the next one is, what are some common double standards?
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think we all know some common double standards. And are double standards fair? So those are some of the things we're gonna hit on tonight. So let's get it going.
Yes. So for those that are new that are watching us, you are able to join in live with us tonight, which we'll post a link here in a little bit. It will allow you to go ahead and come on in and chat with us via just your voice, or in real time, or you can come in on video.
So we can see y'all handsome faces or your pretty faces.
Yeah, so fellas, if you got your do-rag on, you know what I'm saying, and your white beater on, you don't want to be on video, you can just join the audio. It gives you the option when you click the link. And ladies, if you got that bonnet on, your bonnet game strong, but you don't want to show it, no problem. We can just join us in audio. But we prefer you come on in so we can see see you on live and have that interaction. So, all right. So tonight's topic is a good one: double standards and equality. You know what? This was some of the topics that we do. We always like to go ahead and make sure that we get and do research from verifiable sources. And this one had more than a little bit of opportunity, resources out there. It was really.
Because it's a trending topic.
It is a trending topic, and we're going to start with the. Do we really want equality between genders? I'm going to ask you this question before we get into it. Do we really want equality between men and women?
I don't, but a lot of people do. I don't want to bust my ass.
Bust your tail?
Like men work. I don't want to work 60 hours like you do, or some men do, and get out there. I don't want that. I don't want some of the responsibilities that men have.
Sure.
So I don't.
Yeah. So I want to say that we both agree, me and you, we talked about this just a little bit ago, that we want equality of opportunity between men and women, especially in the workplace. I think we all agree that
in that sense, yes.
Yes, just like we talked about just a little bit. We all want equality between genders of quality opportunity. Now, I think what a lot of times it is said out here when you talk about equality, speak about equality of outcomes, which is something that is totally different. It's questions that we might get into just a little bit later. That, hey, would there, only 20% of the CEOs in the world are, you going the wrong way, babe? 20% of the CEO, be careful with my stuff, man. It's expensive equipment. 20% of the CEOs are only women.
Right.
And they say you want equality.
Right.
Well, CEO is an outcome.
Right.
There's the opportunity, but there's many reasons why that is. We won't get too deep into it tonight. It's a little bit of a sensitive subject, but it is very, very deep.
I do understand that women are not always willing to go to
the lengths
that some men are. We like shit. My family come first.
Yeah, and then just to touch on a little bit, one of the reasons why, and I think we'll do a show on this about the gender pay gap and all that stuff. One of the reasons why that you find more men CEOs is, of course, from the psychological side. Men are typically more determined. They're able typically prefer. They'll say, okay, you know what? I don't mind working 70 hours a week for the next 20 years to become a CEO.
And me, my 8 hours over, I want to go home.
Yes. And almost all CEOs are married because they need that good balance at home.
Right.
You know what I mean? And most women are not by nature really to eschew family for the pursuit and hope of getting that less than 1% job and be on call 24/7, 7 days a week.
Right.
CEO is not a lovely job, and anybody that is in upper management or in the corporate field will tell you that it is not something. But anyway, that's all another stuff.
Yeah,
all right,
we'll get to it. Show about
yeah. All right, so as y'all seen, the actual banners was the actual banner that we had two different women on it. On one side, you had Lia Thomas, the female swimmer at the University of Pennsylvania.
I remember her.
Yes. And you had Sarah Fuller, the college football player, the female college football player for the University of Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Yes. She's a kicker. So this part is really about, do we really want equality? On one side, we have Sarah Fuller, where we champion her to play with the boys. Girls can do anything guys can do. You can do it. The other side is with Leah Thomas. Well, that balance and equality, if the girls can play with the boys. Well,
Mhm.
I'm getting off that fine line. If it's equality, then either gender should be able to participate.
Right.
So that gives the opportunity to Leah Thomas, who was born male, who now is, what's the word, who identifies as female, can compete in women's sports because
Oh yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
is a
And she
woman.
beat, right? She won.
Yes, at 6'1", a lean, mean, 205 pounds, is she is destroying.
Yeah, so she I don't know if people know, but she ended up setting all kind of records,
Hmm.
and people were a little bit upset because the women felt like I've been practicing, and then here come this man woman now woman who came in and stole the show. And they felt like she had a advantage because she was a boy in nature, but they said that because she underwent the hormone treatments and stuff like that, I forget how many weeks it is, she qualifies as a woman. Well, this is a big lady. I mean, y-
Hey, that's the people spoke, and
yeah,
they have allowed across a lot of
right.
different states to push for equality. And I think what has happened is, this is, some people would say, a side effect.
This is the side
The
effect. So you
unthought
can't
of,
have,
yeah,
yeah,
the unthought. Uh, we didn't think that
all the
this
way
would.
through.
Well, people did. They thought it's, they think they made. I can't say they did, but I think a lot of the things that they were considering. I need you to scoot over just a little bit for me. A lot of things that they were, get close to me, baby.
I get close to you, honey.
A lot of things they were considering, they didn't consider all. Just like you just can't just consider all things. But this is a side effect, I think, that some people um, didn't really think about. So you also have heard about that MMA fighter that identifies as female, that gets in the ring and wreaks havoc. So, do we really want equality? Do we really want women to um, participate in male dominated sports? And do we want men who identify now as female to get into women's sports? So let me
What do
hear
you think, Carl?
your thoughts on that. People answer this question in the chat? Do we really want equality in genders across the board? Equality across the board. Feel free to drop it in the chat, if you will. This will be a question later, since it is kind of a loaded question. This will be a question later if you do decide to come in and join us live later. So let's see. I think there should be two categories in sport: open division and women. Okay, all right.
I'm not sure if I know what that means.
Yeah, men and women compete in the open classification. Okay, so you got open classification. So if you um, there's a classification that's outside of men and women that maybe is
Oh,
um,
it
open classification.
whatever.
That's an idea. I mean, I could put a. I mean, that you have to rejigger kind of every sport to be able to accommodate something like that. But that's an interesting take. Um, that's what Gerald said. She says, Miss
Right,
Linda says, I agree. And imagine Mike Tyson saying he identifies as a woman. Yes, but
right.
he can, in certain states, he can go ahead and do that procedure and
Maybe
identify
when
as.
he, yeah, there's just the unfairness behind it.
Life ain't fair. You got to go with the rules that are set in society.
Right.
And I forget the name of the. I think there was, in one competition where Leah Thomas was actually involved in, that they went ahead and celebrated the second place person and didn't acknowledge her as a first place winner, or they acknowledged her as first place, Leah Thomas, but the
Be-
second place winner, who was born female, she was celebrated in a different
like
way.
a winner per
Yes,
se feature.
yes,
But and that's to me unfair to the first place winner because now you've allowed this first place winner to assume that role. Then uh she is the winner. You can't go back and try to celebrate that second place winner.
yeah. Someone said he was trash as a man. That may be true. It wasn't very good in sport competing against other men, but he took advantage of an opportunity that was available.
Mm-hmm.
We may or may not disagree with it, but that is what is total slaw. For those who don't know, it's a Southern slang for inferior.
Right.
Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that because that is a little touchy topic. But if you want to drop a couple more comments on that particular subject, do we really want equality across the board for men and women?
That'll be a question here in a minute too.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you can continue on with
Yeah. So let me ask you. So some of the other things outside of sports, there's a few things um, that we do that differ between men and women that, for obvious reasons, I think should not be equal.
like
Well, for instance, so firefighting, there's different. Well, actually, yeah, firefighters. So there's different standard for a woman to carry.
okay.
You know, outside of her gear, had to carry weight up steps and stuff like that because, of course, typically
Men are stronger.
men are stronger. So the buy-in is less, obviously, to let women in. But do we really want to have women having to pull the same weight as men physically? No, because they can't. They just don't have the hand strength or the body strength to do that. Do we really want equality where we have our daughters when they turn 18 to sign up for the
Army.
yeah, for the military? Do we want that? And do we want them on the front lines? I mean, let's be honest, because in fairness, that would be,
Some
well,
people
excuse me,
do.
in
I wouldn't.
equality. Yeah,
Hmm.
in equality. Um, Another one is do 90, I think it was 90, as a research, 91% of jobs out there that risk death
Oh
are,
man.
are men. Yeah. So when you turn on, there's some things that we don't think about, like turning on the light switch. You don't even think about it. That's power. People die to create, to maintain power. Power
Electricity getting out there on the power line when the power to go
when
out,
the
the
power goes out.
snowstorms, and you out there on you the man out there on the line all night trying to get the electricity back on. I'm
Exactly.
not doing that,
You see all these power lines that go
but I
span,
feed you.
span thousands of miles. Every now and then, someone has to get in the helicopter. Four men get in the helicopter. One stands outside, and they go and fly down the power lines to check for stuff. If you ever go past a power line and you see a little yellow stand, it's kind of like a pyramid. It has a number on it. That's for the people in the air to see and identify the areas that they're doing.
Hmm.
That
I
is,
just don't think people think about the big picture like
they
that.
don't. It's dangerous work.
I think of more like workplace.
Sure. Yeah.
And I get that, like, as far as, wanting to be considered for certain positions in the corporate America or, certain things like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I mean by when I say that a lot of people, when they say they want equality, they really want equal outcome and not necessarily you can't touch that. They want equal outcome and not necessarily equal opportunity.
Right.
Because and I apologize if I'm saying that just a little bit wrong, but um, one of the things I kind of tell in my personal life for men who don't want to go to college, but want to get a skill that they can learn on the job and make good money, is to be an elevator technician or escalator tech. For those out there, if you have anybody, male or female kids, or you wanted a change
Job.
in job,
Would you let me do that?
It's not. I wouldn't want you to, but if you
Well,
want
I
to,
mean,
yeah.
right. Would you
But
want me to do
yeah, I
that?
wouldn't want you to, but if you want, welcome to try it if you want to. Um, yeah, escalator, elevator techs. Do you know in 3 to about 4 years on the job training as an elevator tech or escalator tech, you make $100,000?
I know I'm in the wrong field.
They start you out at about 70, and that's in most cities, 70 grand out there fixing elevators and escalators and stuff like that. But it's dangerous work, right? And before we move on,
Read a couple.
huh?
Read a couple of them.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. So let's see. Someone says it's just hard to women. It's just not fair. Everything should not be equal. I agree. It's just some things are just not fair because there's physical um, things that limit women and men from doing. There is a difference between physical competition and jobs. There are, but you know what? Speaking of this particular comment here, let me just mention this here. So, um, when it comes to men and women, when they are given to left to their own devices, men prefer to work with things, and women prefer to work with people.
Oh yeah, you know me.
Yes, so men. That's why there are so many male engineers are male because we like to work with things. We like to make things work, figure
Yeah,
out why things work.
right.
Those jobs pay
And
really,
women are
really
just
well.
kind of starting to get into that.
Yeah, women prefer to work with people.
Right.
That's why so many. There's actually more doctors or more female, of course, nurses,
Right.
psychologists, etc. They prefer to work with people. Those jobs outside of the top ones, like the doctors, do not pay that well.
Right.
Um, yes, elevator tech is a dangerous job.
Very dangerous.
Yes.
But for 100,000, I'll try it.
Yeah. Um, Sports are all physical. That is true. There are some limitations that come and advantages that come. I'm
Men can quite naturally jump higher than women. We
That's
don't
right.
have that. We can't jump. That's why women can't dunk and men can.
Women, well, there's some
I
women
mean, when I say
to the effect that men
right,
can, you know.
there's no LeBron James in the women's NBA.
Yeah, and
You know
then
what I'm saying?
yes, and it's just like one of the hard truths when it comes to that. Since you brought it up, as far as NBA and WNBA, there's a vast difference in pay when it comes to WNBA players and NBA
It's
players.
just because of the viewers.
Well, you know, if you think about it from a feeling standpoint, you're like, you know what, that's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to remember that
Why?
it's the why. It's a business, and there's a reason why me and you have NFL and NBA gear, but neither one of us have any WNBA gear. It's because of the
I don't know. Last
popularity.
time I watched women's NBA, it's been a
Yeah,
while.
and it's good quality content, but it's just
It's
not
just been a
nowhere near
while.
as
Yeah,
as
it's
popular.
exciting. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but that's debatable. The
Yeah.
exciting
I
part.
mean, for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. Let me read another one of these comments here. We would lose 3 people a year in the elevator world. I was previously vice president of the 2 largest elevator companies in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so that there you go.
Holy stuff.
Yes, just for the
I'll take
conveniences.
that back. I'm not gonna try that.
Well, I'm just saying. I think I don't want to come off as. I think we forget the important role that a lot of men play behind the scenes that risk death for us to be comfortable, from turning
Right.
on water
That's
to
true.
getting electricity. And speaking of which, let me ask you a question. Do you know why, like, if you call 911 and you say you have a medical emergency, why they send a fire truck? Before I answer, does anybody out there know that when you call 911 in most major cities or most major places, you say my wife or my husband's having a heart attack, and the fire truck is probably the first thing to show up. Do y'all know why? Do you know why?
I think, but not sure. Which
Well, just think about it. So I'm 6'5", 240 pounds. I'm a heavy one. Say I'm on the second floor of the house. How many people fit in the ambulance? 2.
Two.
Yeah, 2 people fit in the ambulance. If Susan and Mary show up, Susan's 135 pounds soaking wet, And Mary, she's 145. They ain't getting my big ass down to them steps.
Right. So you need the manpower.
Exactly. You need manpower. Give it up for manpower. Hold on, right here. Manpower. Yes, just in case.
And I appreciate it. If my house is burning down with my 5 kids in the inside, I want the strongest
man. Let me finish, man.
To come get us.
You stealing my thunder.
My bad.
Yeah. But no, they send the guys just in case. One, they need to gain entry into the home, just in case all occupants are incapacitated, and they can bring, say, a 300-pound man or woman from the second floor and get them down to safety. That's the reason why. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Agreed. It's viewers, and that was a reference to the WNBA. Yes, and Miss Linda Hiller says heavy lifter. Yes, that is true. You need some heavy.
Have some heavy lifters.
Yes. It is not because women are not capable in carrying out the task of triage and all that and stuff like that. Is just the physical requirement may just be a little too much, and it's just not. I always like to say this: the world is sexist. That's just the way it is. The world is just sexist in a lot of ways, but you know what? In some ways, it has to be.
It has to be.
Has to be.
Way of the world.
It is the way of the world. Man, I've been talking and stuff. Man, I'm gonna take a deep breath. And so, what do y'all think about those things that we talked about so far? While I go ahead and get this chat link together, I'm gonna get the chat link together, and I'm gonna drop it and pin it in the chat so you can join in if you want to answer some questions. Now, these questions that we ask are going to be kind of on the fly, so you'll be just a little bit on the spot, but that'll allow you to go ahead and give your honest answer on the actual questions. And also, I'm going to bring up this article, which is a good article about the subject. It's called 19 Gender Double Standards That Remind Me How Much Toxic Masculinity Destroys Society. Let me tell y'all something. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. It is not. It's not. Because when the enemy is at the door, you want all that masculinity you can scrounge up. Oh, shit.
I agree.
All right. So let's go ahead and bring this up real quick while I put this in here. All right. So in this article here, this is an article. Let me move my face. Let me move this. Let me pull it all the way up on there. Yeah, put this here. And I'm sorry, I'm the producer of the show too, y'all. If y'all see y'all first night coming, I'm the producer, half the host and all that. All right, so this one's 19 gender double standards. And we're not going to read all of these. We're just going to read a few that people that make you say, huh.
Some double standards?
Yeah, why don't you read the first one, which is kind of a...
Okay, women, things like baking or cooking are just for women until it's a profession, and then it's for men.
Which one do you read? Oh, yeah, women. Yeah, that's said wrong, but yeah, you're right about that. Number 2, when movies need an ugly guy, they hire an ugly actor. When they need an ugly girl, they hire a gorgeous actress and put glasses on her. Oh, I never noticed that until I read this thing. That's a good one. Read number 3, if you will.
Daughters are raised and taught to clean and cook while sons are cleaned up after. My mother got upset with me when I suggested my younger brother learn to take out the trash and do a single chore. When I was his age, I was cooking and cleaning and helping take care of him while getting good grades in school and doing extracurriculars.
Yes. So do you know what? This is an interesting one because we've talked about this before. In some cultures, in some different cultures, the
woman is taught to take care of
the daughters.
Male.
The daughters serve their brothers,
right?
And the wife serves their husband. This is pretty common in Latin America,
right?
In a lot of other countries. So, yes. All right. So the next one, this one is a really good one here. When a woman cries, it's viewed as normal. When a man cries, he's told to man the hell up.
That is a big double standard.
Yep. That is a big double standard. As a man, I could go to the doctor and get a vasectomy tomorrow if I wanted to. A woman has to have like 2 or 3 kids and be married for most doctors to even consider
That is very
performing a tubal ligation.
Well, I feel like that even with vasectomies now, if you're married, you have to get the signature of your wife.
When I did mine, he said, "Go ahead and sign that thing." I ain't had to bring that.
Yes, you did.
I know. I'm just saying. He said it. He said you can go ahead and sign it. I said, "No, I'm gonna take it home." Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
bypass my signature.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's shady.
Well, he was cool as hell too.
I know, but still, men get pockets big enough to hold all their stuff, while women get fake pockets that are sewn shut and micro pockets that can't fit any. You know what? That is. I didn't realize that, but that's true. Yeah, men got all these big old pockets to hold this, and then we you know how you go try to stick your hands in my pocket sometimes.
So I rub her booty a lot, right? I'm always rubbing her booty. I try to put my hand in her pocket. We walking down the street, and it's fake. I get stuck. I get shut down. I ain't never seen so many fake pockets. And you had that one shirt that I like. It's got a little pocket right there. It looked like a pocket. It's got the whole trim in the pocket, but it's so shut.
I ain't never thought about that.
But yeah, I can put straight up. I can put a tablet in a lot of my pockets. A damn tablet. That's how big.
Like women don't need pockets.
Right. So let's get a couple more of these real quick. So that was a good one. I really found a lot of. Here's a good one too. Now, I'm not gonna say certain words to this because of the algorithm. But if men had these discussions all the time, but men or boys who are sexually abused by women are told to feel lucky. Mm-hmm. People will joke, where was that teacher when I was in school? And disregard that being a male victim is a big deal.
True.
But sexual abuse messes with you no matter your gender, and being a male survivor is also hard.
I totally agree.
Yes, it does. It does present its own issues between both, and it is kind of glossed over when it comes to. It's glossed over when it becomes, when it's on the men's side, it's someone who has been abused. Why don't you go ahead and read number 8?
When women take after their kids, it's just parenting, but when men look after their kids, it's babysitting.
Yeah, that is true. I said 8, but you went ahead and went to 9.
Bad.
No problem.
But
yeah. So number 10, women are constantly told about the dangers of sex, ridiculed for wanting or having it, and dealing with how difficult it is to get birth control. Meanwhile, men are told nothing about how to be safe and make their partner comfortable, but are given a pat on the back and showered with condoms.
That is true.
I don't know about that
one.
No, sexual liberation. Women are not as shamed as they used to be for having being.
No, you still consider a hoe.
Whoa! Watch the language.
No, they still. I mean, you can probably. It's a little bit more
accepted.
Open, yeah, but you still get frowned upon. Men never get frowned upon. You might people that say like, oh, whatever, but women still gonna get frowned upon. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, anywho, you want to get on to some of these questions?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into the question portion of the show tonight. This is where we ask you if you want to join. I've just put in the chat. It says to join live. Go ahead and click that. It'll put you in the actual queue. You'll queue up on my screen. I will see you. She will see you, but the audience cannot see you until we bring you in.
And like we said, you can join via audio or be on screen with us. That's up to you, whatever you decide.
Yes. And if you don't decide to join in, you can go ahead and just leave your answers. If you're a fast typer or a fast talk texter to your phone, your message may come up in time as we're reading it, so it's good.
All right. So my first question is, are men welcome to women's spaces as much as women are welcome to men's spaces?
No. I think that you're...
What do y'all think?
Yeah. I think that women are more accepted in men's spaces, but men are not in women's spaces.
I'm trying to think of an example.
I'll give you an example, okay. A really good example here. The bathroom debate. So would people be in uproar if a woman had to come in the men's bathroom to get her son because he's been in there too long? Like, come on out here, boy.
No.
People wouldn't get upset, would they?
Oh no, they wouldn't. But if it,
But if
mhm.
my daughter was in there and I come into the women's restroom,
Get your the hell out of here.
yes,
You
yes,
pervert.
yeah, you prevert. Watch it. You prevert.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But I definitely agree with that. There is women or men are not accepted into women's spaces. Like women are pretty much like nobody's gonna tell a woman if she can't come into the space.
That's exactly right, and it's a double standard. And
that is a
people,
double
in
standard.
reality, being we understand there's double standards. We understand some things ain't fair. You just got to deal with it, right? You just got to deal with it. Yes, yes, yes. So we have one queued up in the chat here. We'll bring you in just a moment. So hold tight for us. What's the next question?
Do you want to be equal? Oh, that was a good one. I wanted to say that for our
viewers. Say that one. And we're going to bring you in, G-Mac. I can't see the full name. We'll bring you in after this question, okay?
Okay. Do you feel women can do anything a man can do?
Oh, shit. Do you think no?
What do y'all think? Do you think a woman can do anything a man can do?
Let's arm wrestle. Hold on. Put your just look at that right there. Look at the difference. You be arm. You be wrist wrestling.
Yeah, I be wrist wrestling him, so I know I can't manhandle him. Like, yes, I think that's that's. I definitely I definitely know women can't do everything a man can do. It's just not possible. So.
Yes. All right. So we're going to go ahead and bring in our first live guest tonight. We're going to bring you in and just introduce yourself real briefly, and then we'll go ahead and
say where you chiming in from.
Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and bring in our first guest. All right. So who do we have here this evening?
It's Gerald.
Hey. Gerald, how you doing this evening, sir?
All right, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's give it up for Gerald, y'all.
Hey, Gerald.
Hey. Down in South Arkansas.
You from where?
I'm in South Arkansas right now.
South Arkansas, God's country out this piece. You know what I'm talking about? Yes.
I don't know about all that.
They just sound good. They always saying that stuff around here.
Yeah.
All right. So we appreciate you joining tonight with us, Gerald. Why don't you go ahead and ask, what was the...
Well, let me ask you, did you have something specific on the topic you wanted to hit on, or if not, we'll just ask you a question?
You can shoot a question. I didn't have anything specific. I just kind of put it in the comments.
Okay. So, do you want to be equal to your spouse?
Ooh.
No.
You didn't even hesitate on that one. Why not? Why don't you want to be equal to you?
I mean, there's some things that I can do better than she can, and there's some things she can do that I can't do. I think there's a complimenting, and it's not really the term better than, it's more the term complimenting. So for me, the things that I have a strength in, she's complimenting my strength. And then the things that she has a strength in, I'm complimenting her strength. So together we become more powerful.
I agree.
Yes, let's give it up. Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah. Women just naturally do things around the house a little better for the most part, and men do things outside the house a lot better.
What do you always say when I make food, when I cook?
What you mean? Like,
what I always do?
Yeah, make a mess.
Make a damn mess. Make a mess.
Yeah, y'all make a mess when y'all cooking. I'm cooking and cleaning as I go.
Yeah, we want to do that. Just some typical things. All right. What's the next question for Mr. Gerald? If folks, y'all can chime in as well as we ask Gerald these questions. You can leave your answer as well.
All right. So, do you feel men can? Oh, did I ask that one? No. Yeah, I asked that one already. Do you feel that some things have gone a little far as the quality goes? Like, do you think it's been really stretched? Or how do you feel about that?
I think right now we're so hyper connected with Facebook and the social media and the things like that. So then you got a lot more political correctness that's going around, and you got the activists pushing the envelope. So I think some of it is not really in the heart, but really fake.
I got you.
People they're just
Right in the bandwagon.
right and pontificating, beating their chest, and trying to seem like and get likes. And then you talk to them in reality, and they don't have a clue, or they don't even. They're not really even focused on equality or things like that at all.
I got you. I agree with that too.
Yeah, that's a good point that I haven't really considered up to this point, Gerald. But I see a little. Now that you say that, I see some of that in having closed conversations with people as far as how they really feel about a lot of this stuff and what the real play is and what the reason for. But yeah, I agree with you on that. There's some definitely a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Politicians push it. Think about it. They push it. I need the women's vote, so let me push this.
Yes.
Or you have, you'll have a woman who's in a position of authority, and you'll have men trying to shoot her down just to feel better about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at it just recently, the thing with Ketanji Jackson. I mean, the way they treated her. And
Right.
some of those questions, I mean, it was weird. I know they
Right.
do it to men, but it felt stranger to me when they were doing it to a woman, especially a woman of color. I know they make up things, they shoot at men fighting men, but then they were verbally fighting a woman, which kind of made it different for me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's true. And on that particular issue, one of the things is, and it's kind of in men's spaces, some of the things that men deal with, but we deal with them a lot, and we've dealt with them pretty much our whole lives, is the way men treat men in competitive arenas. Politics is heavily competitive, and it makes you feel a certain type of way. It made me as well, to listen to some of those questions. But when you get in that ring, in those spaces, that's kind of what happens. With some of them out of line,
It seemed a little bit. She seemed a little bit more attacked in some.
Absolutely,
Of the
no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you put yourself in there, you have to deal with that. And I think she came out really, really good.
Oh, she did.
Really,
She
really
held
good.
her own. She held her own for sure.
Absolutely. One more question for Gerald.
I think because we already
my hero, by the way.
Your hero.
Man. Hey y'all, I went to this birthday party. Gerald had was it your 55th?
60.
60. Oh, you're 60. Man, you look good for 60, brother. No homo. I ain't never been to a birthday party like I've been to this man's birthday party. I mean, there was comedians, singers. I know there's a few celebrities up in that thing I ain't recognized, but it was good. Good fellowship.
One of the best house parties I've been to.
Yeah, good house party. So we appreciate you inviting us out to there, Gerald.
No problem.
All right. So our last question for you is: do we really want equality between men and women? And I think we kind of touched on that, but what do you think? Do we really, really want that?
Total equality? No, because they're just things. Like, I agree with the combat situation. Hand to hand. If you're in hand to hand ground combat, I think that's different. Things like heavy lifting, that men could do. Dexterity, women do it better. There was a company in my old hometown where I am today that they made missiles. The employment was 98% women because the men didn't have the dexterity to put the missiles together.
And dexterity is the hands, right?
Right, being able to use your hands moving small things.
Yes, because men's fingers are too big quite naturally. Well, women have them fine fingers and can.
And one of the things is, think about one of the little things that they would tell you, if you get a bangle, like a wrist bracelet, a woman can slide that bracelet over her hand because her hand will collapse. A man's won't. He can't do it.
I've always noticed that, like when you take it, I've never known that.
But
our
hands are.
I've seen my wife do it a lot. I'm like, how's she do that? And I can't, man.
You can't do it. It's all about the dexterity. So they would have all these women wiring these missiles because men couldn't do it. And the men, guess where they were? On the forklifts, the heavy boxes, the things that they could do.
Yeah.
So, and in management.
Yeah.
And it's so funny you say that, Gerald, because even still, like, I tell Lamar sometimes to put my bracelet on or my necklace on. He can't quite grip the little
Then I struggle with that little lobster claw.
The little lobster claw. He can't quite grip that, and I can do it with my eyes closed for the most part. But he struggles. So that does
big Shrek hands. I got these big Shrek hands.
So that does make a difference.
Yeah, and even if you have small hands, a man's hands just will not collapse.
They will not collapse. That you brought up some really good points.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you bring up that point, because a lot of the things that the reason why the differences are the way they are is because of mental and physiological differences. Like I mentioned at the top, that men prefer to work with things, engineers, and women prefer to work with people. So some of those things, and as much as we want to say, hey, they should be equal, well, Mother Nature said, hell no, this is you're different. You're different for reason.
Would you think is that why more men is more men in the sales field than women?
Absolutely, and one of the reasons, a couple of reasons why, is because men are more comfortable and okay with
telling a lie,
negotiating. Watch your mouth. Hell no, we don't do that.
So let me flip that. Pharmaceutical sales, are there more women or men?
Pharmaceuticals?
This is a good one. Women. I know the answer.
I would say men.
No,
not in pharmaceuticals.
Pharmaceutical sales is full of women. Yes. Beautiful women to go talk to these doctors.
Oh, you know why? Because a man have a hard time turning down a pretty faced woman.
Exactly. And
that is doctors, true. I forgot about that.
And what are doctors mostly? Men. So they try to find very educated, beautiful women to be pharmaceutical salesmen.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true. And most of the decision makers, it actually is more women are doctors, but more are in the position of leadership in hospitals and stuff are men. We'll get into that more of that part a little on a different.
Yeah, let me give you one other example. You talk about equality. There was when I grew up in high school, there was a girl. When we went to the park, she played with the guys. She played basketball with the guys. She was that good. And she ended up being a professional basketball player in Europe. That was before they had WNBA. Yeah. But she won a national championship with Louisiana Tech. And then she went on to play professional basketball. But she played with the guys, but she was good enough. But in high school, she had to play with the women. They wouldn't allow her to play with the men, even though she could have competed. So that's where then that comes back to my little open comment. On the open side, they should be, if a woman can compete with a guy, let her compete. And the men, with open, in the open category, men and women, if she can run just as fast as a man, let her compete.
But how many women can really run just as fast?
Well, do you, in as far as equality goes, do you think that if a guy who wants to compete on the women's side because he can't compete with the men, because he wants to go to the other side, should he be able to?
No, because there's a natural, in my opinion, I guess, there's a natural difference between the women and the man from a sports standpoint and their ability, their muscular build and their strength. Like, a guy can,
But what if a man go knock a woman short? If a 6'5", 400-pound man, this woman thinks she can run just as fast as this heavy man, and she 200 pounds lighter, then what?
It's open. She can choose to be. A woman can choose to compete with the man.
But a man even if you compete with the women, a man gonna be at least 200 pounds heavier than her. She's gonna get her head knocked off.
Drill said what he said. The man said what he said.
I feel bad for her. She's gonna get her head knocked off.
If she's crazy enough to get out there, let her go.
They say let her go. Let her go.
I understand that.
I'm not saying we force them to. I'm just saying that there's a division where, like, for example, this girl, she wasn't allowed to compete with the men because it wasn't open to her.
Yeah.
Although she could have.
Right.
It wasn't open to her. I mean, in high school, if you had back then, and I'm aging myself, if there had been a woman kicker, she wouldn't have been able to compete. They would have let her play.
Right.
Even though she could have. They wouldn't have let her play.
Right.
But I think if you got the open, You can go play if you want to, and you think you have the skill set to compete with the men, but I'm going to expect you to be that same level. But men, we know that in the majority of conditions, you are, built stronger than a woman. So you can't go over there and compete because you've already got a natural advantage.
So, you don't, am I hearing this correctly as we close it out? You don't believe that you don't believe in, and I think you already answered, equality across the board. There should be concessions given for women if they want to compete in men's spaces, but not the other way around.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Well, man, we really appreciate.
That doesn't take into consideration the work world. I mean, that's athletics.
Yeah. No. Yeah, and let me make clear because we don't want to get twisted when it comes to sports.
Right.
Absolutely.
Not intellectual.
Yes.
Gotcha. Intellectually across the board.
Right.
Well, I agree with that 100% as well. My wife Sarah agrees with that 100% as well. Intellectually, there's equality for sure, and equality of opportunity.
Linda agrees with it.
Yes. So, Jared, we appreciate you coming in, being a good sport tonight, and answering some questions in real time with us this evening. And hopefully you'll stick around as we close the show out. We have just a couple of more things tonight, so we thank you and we appreciate you being a member as well. Okay.
All right, bro.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Gerald, y'all.
I'm not gonna do my joke.
Oh, man, we just sitting here talking. They hear us talking.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Yes, Miss Linda says great answers, Gerald. Yes, so good. Well, I think we walked the line correctly without getting too far on one side or the other to get you know what I'm saying, get dinged on YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah, good conversation. And before we close the show out, if you want to go ahead and drop any additional questions that you may have or any comments that you have as well, feel free to go ahead and do so before we close out. We'll go ahead and put them up here on the screen. I do want to say before we do close out that really appreciate everybody joining us tonight. And just to think about some of the things that we've talked about this evening, but what is it that we really want?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, I think. And then when you're thinking about what you really want, you have to think about it as a big picture. I mean, you got to remember, if you say you want equality, that crosses a lot of lines.
It does do it. You know, if you somehow, even in our household, you say, baby, I want to be equal to you.
I mean, do you want your daughter having to go into a bathroom? I mean, this little boy say he feel like if she in elementary school and say she in the 5th grade, but as a boy in the 5th grade to say he a girl, then your daughter in there changing her tampon or whatever, and she got to do it right with this boy in there. So it's a lot of stuff that you got to consider.
It is. I'm not going to ask you to get up in the middle of the night to go see what that noise was.
Yeah,
but in the world of equality, you better get that ass up. Anyway,
and I heard a lot of women say it depends on who's stronger.
Like, come on.
Yeah, women say if I'm stronger than my husband, then I should be the person.
That's out of order. Call me old school, traditional, whatever.
I don't even care. You could have a woman that's 400 pounds and you 100 pounds. As a woman, that is not your job to get up and go see what's knocking at the middle of the night.
Call me traditional, old school, but I believe if something's going on in the home and there's imminent or the threat of danger, I go sacrifice myself. You stay behind and shelter the kids. That's the reason why I got damn insurance policies. Something happened to me, y'all move on, go on. You know, sell the house. Don't have no other man coming up in my house I built, damn it. But y'all go live y'all life just like y'all doing and move on.
Yeah,
but anyway. But hey, yes. So thank y'all for joining us this evening. Do you want anything to say before we get on?
No, just thank you. We appreciate you guys for taking some time out of your evening, because you could be doing anything else, but you decided to chime in and chat with us. So we really appreciate it.
What about your little thing you do at the night?
Okay. Y'all, he be liking my knock joke. All right. So knock.
Who's there?
Water.
Water who?
Why are you asking so many questions? Just let me in. Dang.
All right, y'all. Hey, thank y'all so much. Those jokes be corny them up. We see
Much
y'all
funny.
next time. Thank you for joining us. And we are out of here.